Good evening, my friends. Today's video is going to be a battle between two heavy-duty divers. So on the left side, we have the Seiko tuna with reference number SBDX014, also known as the Emperor tuna. And on the right side, we have the SBDB021, okay, which is the top Seiko dive watch you can buy today. Now, these watches have overkill features. However, only one will win this battle. Now, there are 10 categories which are decisive factors for the final score. Now, these categories are design and materials, movement, versatility, wearability, bezel action, dial and indices, loom, X factor, resale value, and service cost. Now, for the sake of this review, I will call this the Kraken and this the Godzilla. So without further ado, let's crack on. So round one, design and materials. Now, the Kraken gets 10, whereas the Godzilla gets 8. So what's the reason behind it? Well, both are made out of titanium with hard coating. However, the Emperor tuna wins due to the one-piece construction, which makes the watch less prone to water damage. And the reason is because it has only got one point of ingress, which is the crown, whereas the Godzilla has got 2 points of ingress, which is the crown and the screw down case back. Round two, the movement. Now, this time the Godzilla gets full points, whereas the Kraken gets 8 points. Now, why is this? Now, the Kraken has got the ADL35 movement, which is at 26 Joule, 28,800 vibrations per hour, and the stated accuracy is -10 to +15 seconds per day. Now, this one is performing +7 seconds per day. This is the current accuracy of the watch. Whereas the Godzilla features the spring drive movement, the 5R65, which is a 30 joule continuous gliding, as you can see, continuous gliding. So this one doesn't have a balance wheel and an escapement. Instead, it has got a glide wheel and a tri-synchro regulator, okay? And the stated accuracy is ±1 second per day. Now, this one is performing right now +0.2 seconds per day, which is insane. Okay. Round three, versatility. Now, the Kraken gets a 7, whereas the Godzilla gets an 8. So what's the reason behind it? Okay, so both watches, both are grab and go watches. They can be worn with jeans and t-shirts, but none of them slips under the cuff. Okay. Now the SBDX is the absolute dive watch. Very utilitarian and purpose-built, whereas the Godzilla is more elegant. Okay, it's more elegant and more versatile. However, none of them has metal bracelet options, and also you cannot wear them with NATO straps, as they are thick watches. So next category will be wearability. Now the Kraken gets a 7, whereas the Godzilla gets 8 points. Now the reason for it is because this one weighs 160 grams, and the Godzilla is 110 grams. However, the thickness is 15.6, whereas this one is a behemoth of a watch. It has got a thickness of 17.4, and when you wear it, it tends to flop around because it's top heavy. Let me give you a wrist shot to see what I mean. So let me put the Emperor first. So as you can see, it is huge, and see, weight is up, so it tends to flop around your wrist, whereas the Godzilla is much more wearable, if you know what I mean. See, very nice and much lighter. Okay, next category will be bezel action. Okay, the bezel on the Kraken is nothing out of the ordinary Seiko clicky bezel. Okay, whereas the Godzilla is very refined. It has got a very refined bezel action. It's superior, and in my book, this is the benchmark. Right. Round 6, dial and indices. The Kraken gets a 10, whereas the Godzilla gets a 9. Now, the reason is because the dial on the Kraken is more symmetric. due to the fact that the date window is positioned between 4 and 5 o'clock, where on this one the date takes the position of the 3 o'clock. So I prefer this one better. See, this is more symmetric. Now, next round is loom. Now the loom, okay. The Kraken gets a 10, whereas the Godzilla gets an 8. Now, loom is absolutely fantastic on both watches, but the loom on the Kraken is extraterrestrial. It is more potent and lasts longer. The loom pip on the Godzilla, the small loom pip, is a disappointment. Let me try and show you what I mean. See? Okay. Moving on to the X factor. Well, the Kraken gets a 9 and the Godzilla gets an 8. And the reason for it is because the tuna is so iconic. It pays tribute to 6159 7010, which is the grandfather tuna, whereas the Godzilla calls back to 6159. Yes, but the caseback, the screw down caseback, is a bummer. It should have been a one-piece construction like the Marine Master. Next category is the resale value. Now, this one gets a 9 and this one gets 8. Now, the reason is that the resale value of the tuna is higher and it pays your money back as it is a sought after timepiece. Whereas if you flip this one, then you will most likely lose between 15 and 20% of your money. And the last one is servicing cost, which again the Kraken wins by 1 point because this is 400 USD versus 570 USD. And final score is 86 out of 100 for the Kraken and 84 out of 100 for the Godzilla. So if you have different opinion about the scoring system, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.